When we hear the word monster, our minds often go to images of terror creatures lurking in the shadows, devouring everything in their path. But let me tell you, not all monsters are the same. There are two kinds in this world. There are those who are consumed by sin, and there are those who stand boldly against it. One is a monster of destruction, the other a monster of righteousness. The question is, which one will you be? Some people allow themselves to be overtaken by the darkness. They give in to greed, selfishness, and pride. They feed on lies, thrive on manipulation, and destroy those around them with their words and actions. These are the monsters we fear, the ones who bring ruin wherever they go. They are driven by their desires, enslaved by temptation, and completely unaware of the damage they cause. They live for themselves, thinking they are strong, but in reality, they are weak and chained by the very things they chase after. But there is another kind of monster, a monster that does not bow to the corruption of this world, a monster that fights against the darkness, a monster that stands unshaken when the storms of life rage. These are the ones who refuse to give up. They are fearless in the face of adversity. They are bold in their faith, strong in their convictions, and relentless in their pursuit of truth. These are the warriors of God, the ones who terrify the forces of evil because their faith cannot be broken. You see, the enemy wants you to be weak. He wants you to be quiet, to blend in, to shrink back when the battle comes. But I say to you today, rise up. Be transformed. Be so unshakable in your faith, so determined in your mission, that the devil himself trembles when you wake up in the morning. The world is full of monsters of sin. But what it needs are monsters of righteousness, men and women who refuse to back down, who walk in the power of God with boldness and authority. Jesus himself was no weak man. He did not walk timidly through life. He overturned tables in the temple when corruption filled his Father's house. He stood before the religious leaders, unwavering in the truth. He faced the cross, not as a victim, but as a warrior who conquered sin and death for all time. And if his spirit lives in you, then you are called to that same strength, that same courage, that same relentless pursuit of righteousness. So, my friends, the choice is yours. Will you be a monster of this world, consumed by its sin? Or will you be transformed into a warrior for God, unafraid, unstoppable, and on fire for his kingdom? The time to decide is now. Do not be lukewarm. Do not be silent. Be bold. Be fearless. Be a monster that the darkness fears. You said, expand to ND it in 500 words without heading. ChatGPT said, transformation is at the heart of the Christian journey. We are not called to remain as we are, but to be renewed, reshaped, and transformed by the power of God. The Bible tells us in Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That means we don't simply adjust to the ways of this world, we rise above them. We are called to be different, to be set apart, to live in a way that reflects the power and holiness of God. But transformation is not automatic. It is a choice. It is a daily battle. The world will try to mold you into its image, filling your mind with lies, distractions, and temptations. The enemy will whisper in your ear, telling you to blend in, to stay comfortable, to go with the flow. But God calls us to something greater. He calls us to break free from the chains of this world and step into the identity He created for us. When you allow yourself to be transformed by Christ, everything changes. Your mind begins to think differently. You no longer see life through the lens of fear, doubt, or insecurity, but through the eyes of faith. You begin to walk with confidence, knowing that you are a child of God, empowered by His Spirit. You no longer chase after the things that once enslaved you, money, power, approval, because you realize that true fulfillment comes only from Him. Transformation is not just about changing your habits, it is about changing your heart. It is about surrendering everything to God, to your dreams, your struggles, your desire set, and allowing Him to shape you into the person you were meant to be. This kind of transformation is not weak or passive, it is radical. It is powerful. It is a force that the enemy cannot stand against. When you truly allow yourself to be transformed by Christ, you become dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You become someone who cannot be manipulated by the world. You no longer fear the opinions of others. You no longer hesitate when God calls you to stand up for what is right. You become bold, unshakable, and unstoppable in your faith. Jesus could never called us to live ordinary lives. He called us to be set apart. He called us to be lights in the darkness. He called us to live with power and purpose. But that can only happen when we allow Him to renew our minds, to strip away the lies of the world, and to fill us with His truth. So today, I ask you, will you conform, or will you be transformed? Will you remain trapped in the ways of this world, or will you step into the powerful, fearless, and victorious life God has called you to? The choice is in your hands. But remember, these are those who are truly transformed in Christ become warriors, and warriors do not retreat, they rise.